Hello and welcome to Continue or Drop, and on this episode I'm going to be talking about KonoSuba. This originally wasn't on my radar, but like with Dimension W, I've heard a lot of positive things about it. I have been dropping shows left and right lately, so I'm hoping that this anime will be something I end up liking. Kazuma is walking home to play his new video game when he notices that a girl is about to be run over by a truck. He manages to push her out of the way, but he gets killed in the process. He then wakes up in a mysterious place where he meets a goddess called Aqua. She tells him that there actually was no truck, it was really a tractor, and he actually died from shock. Like a fucking idiot. She gives him the option of being reborn in this dangerous fantasy world, which he agrees to, as long as she comes with him. Kazuma and Aqua must now rely on each other to survive in this unfamiliar setting. The setup here was brilliant. Making your main character look like a bitch might seem counterproductive, but it was just so funny that I immediately fell in love with the show. This introduction also perfectly sets up what I believe is the best part of this anime, the relationship between the two leads. Both Kazuma and Aqua are very antagonistic towards each other, and for good reason. They are constantly at each other's throats, flinging insults, having arguments, and this led to some of the funniest dialogue I've heard in a while. However, they do begin to show signs of affection as time goes on. In the fantasy genre, a lot of the time the characters will be close friends right from the beginning. So it was really refreshing to see a fantasy anime where the main characters started off hating each other, but slowly started to become friends over time. On top of having great comedic dialogue, they also make good use of physical comedy here. There's a montage at the end of episode 1 which was utterly hilarious because they put their characters in some pretty ridiculous poses and situations. This style of comedy also fits well with the light-hearted tone. It's one of those shows that aims to be as fun as possible, and it certainly succeeds at that. Now, since this is based in an RPG-like world, there are many references to RPGs here. They use terminology like levels, stats, kill quests, and so on. This is pretty basic stuff, so it doesn't require much background knowledge to understand what's happening. You could go in with absolutely no knowledge of RPGs whatsoever, and you'd still be able to understand the plot. In terms of the technical aspects, they did a really good job with the soundtrack. The music isn't all that special on its own, it more comes down to the way they use it. Every track is used to enhance the comedy. It made the scenes so much funnier than they would have been if it had been just silence in the background. When it comes to the visuals, the anime looks fantastic. It's very colourful, the designs of the characters and buildings make it look like an immersive fantasy world, and the animation is really impressive, especially during the action scenes. I also liked how they made good use of depth of field, making the background slightly blurry, giving the anime that cinematic look. They also use this sunlight glare effect, I'm not exactly sure what to call it. Anyway, I thought they used this a bit too much. However, this is mostly a nitpick. At its worst, it was only mildly distracting. One thing that was significantly more distracting though was the fan service. Scantily clad women are all over the place, and there were quite a few close-ups of Aqua's ass. I have been watching anime for a long time, so I can usually ignore stuff like this, but it was so plentiful here that it kept breaking my immersion. So if you're one of those people that hates fan service, this might be something you want to avoid. But honestly, this was so enjoyable to me that I want to recommend it to everybody. Coming off Girls Beyond the Wasteland, which was so boring that I wanted to kill myself, watching this felt so good. Definitely a continue. The only thing I regret is not getting to this sooner. So anyway, thank you very much to everybody who watched this video. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment, and if you like this video and want to see more, feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.